The next presentation that we have will be from Ricki Nash together with Roger Griffiths. And I might just introduce Ricki Nash, who will be doing the presentation. Ricki Nash has been interested in birds since childhood, when she first joined the Gould League of Bird Lovers. In the 1980s, she joined the Cumberland Bird Observers and the New South Wales Field Ornithologists. Among her current interests has been her involvement with BirdLife Australia's powerful Owl project, and she participates in the birds in backyard surveys. Living just outside the Richmond Woodlands KBA on a 5-acre bush block with her family, like most of us, every day she revels in watching and recording birds in her neighbourhood. When not bird watching, Ricki is involved with the Parramatta Hills branch of the Australian Native Plants Society and is also studying environmental science at Charles Sturt University. Now, Roger Griffiths is also with us. I didn't actually have a written introduction for Roger. I've met Roger. He's been associated with Ian Bailey Bales, a long-time member of our committee, and Roger's been working very closely over many months now with Bales in relation to the project that we're about to hear about. Ricki has prepared a presentation, and I'm hoping that, like me and others before, Ricki is up to sharing her presentation with you now. Is that okay, Ricki?
Yep, I'll go ahead.
Let's see how you go.
So welcome to Richmond Woodlands.
You might start with clicking on slideshow first.
Oh, slideshow, sorry,
Yep.
sorry.
At the top there, in the top line of text, further up. There, yes. You need to click on that.
Yes, I did.
Can you try double clicking on it?
Okay.
That's it. Far left from beginning. Great. You're ready to go, Ricki.
Okay, all right, thank you. So welcome to Richmond Woodlands KBA. It lies in northwest Sydney and is about 329 square kilometres in size, and it's surrounded by the Blue Mountains National Park to the left, and to the northeast parts of Ku-ring-gai Chase National Park, and the suburbs within the KBA include Richmond, Windsor and Penrith. Now you can see some splotches in here, green patches. To the north, this is Skyville National Park, which is one of the sites we survey, along with Windsor Downs here, Windsor Downs Nature Reserve. This is Castle Ray, and over here is Agnes Banks. The one here is Wainemata Nature Reserve. I know some people do go there, but that's not one of our survey sites at the moment. This is a large woodland habitat, eucalypt woodland, and it used to cover most of Western Sydney. But this is quite a large remnant that is now left because of the spread of urbanisation. So I mentioned that it also contains 2 lagoons, Bushels and Pitt-Town lagoons. And the KBA is managed by BirdLife Australia, and it's locally managed by New South Wales National Parks and Wildlife Service. All the sites are shared sites, and whenever anybody goes out to do any surveys, these are all recorded in bird data. Over the years, Ian's managed to collect 2 decades of data, which is in the process now of analysing together with a team out of Macquarie University. And some of that data was published recently in one of the Southern BirdLife New South Wales magazines. So just a bit about the history of the signage in Richmond Woodlands. Between April 2020 and June 21, the former Guardian, Ian Bailey, did a tremendous amount of work to try and get some funds to have some signage put in these various reserves. Ian saw it as really important that people who were walking through bird watching would understand the types of birds there, what the KBA was about, and which direction to take their walks in, and how they were to, as I mentioned previously, record their surveys. We did talk about having brochures, but national parks weren't particularly happy about that because they were worried about litter in the national park. So we've put that aside, and certainly now with the apps associated with the signs, that gives people information about the KBA and the direction of the walk. In that time when Ian was trying to raise funds, he submitted several proposals, and if we found out about any funding that was available, we would send him the details, and he would write it all up and submit it, but unfortunately a lot of these were very unsuccessful. So in November 2023, BirdLife Southern New South Wales Conservation Committee, which consisted of Barry Walsh, Dan Vickers, David Marquardt, Ian, of course Ian, and there were 3 other people, I'm not sure of their names at this stage. They applied to BirdLife Australia for funding to cover the signage. And the funding did come partly from BirdLife, as I understand, but also from Southern BirdLife New South Wales. In October 24, they went to National Parks and Wildlife Service to sort of talk a bit more about the signage. They are very happy about it, and they supported the installation of all the signs through the reserves and national parks within their jurisdiction. So the proposal put forward was that Southern BirdLife New South Wales supported the development of KBAs in New South Wales and even like Australia-wide. The project aims to encourage a greater volunteer engagement, like with monitoring birds, and the broad goal is to develop and evaluate best practices for KBA management throughout the state. So the plan is to have the signage installed, and it has been so far. It's gone into Castlereagh and also Agnes Banks, Windsor Downs, and Skyville as well. And the aim of the signage was to identify the sites and where people had to do their surveys, the tracks they had to follow. It also explains BirdLife Australia's objectives about KBAs, which is really important in terms of bird conservation, and also to provide guidance to visitors in conducting the surveys, how they were to go about these. And the other, and the final part of the plan is to, over a period of time, just depending on how many people go in to do surveys in the sites, how many times the QR signs, the QR, sort of got a blank here for a minute, are accessed by people going in to do the surveys. So this is a photograph of one of the signs. This one here is the one that would be at Skyville. And so you see up the top here, it talks about what sort of information about Skyville Reserve, that it's for threatened woodland birds. The trigger species are the regent honeyeater and the swift parrot. The swift parrot was seen probably about 2 years ago, just on the outskirts of the national park in someone's front yard. So it does talk about the area being remnant woodland. Over here, the key biodiversity area states what key biodiversity areas are, that they're places of global significance. Below here is a map of the track that people can take when they do the survey. and it can be done in either direction. So there's a sign here, and then this is the National Park headquarters here. And these are obviously some of the birds people may see when they're doing their surveys. And these are the QR codes that people need to survey. This one will tell them about the KBA. This one here to download the Bird Data app, where they can record the survey as they walk around the track. Now, this is a photo of Ian here to the left, who's done so much work supporting KBAs over his time and continues to work hard at trying to get the data organised. To his right is Megan Covey, who's a National Park Ranger at Skyville and whom we've had a lot of contact with and continue to do so regarding the signs. And she's actually just recently done a write-up in her National Parks brochure that gets sent to other staff. This is a photograph of Roger and myself at Skyville one foggy morning. But yep. So some of the benefits from having the signs put in is we're hoping that the number of bird surveys will be increased, and also we'll see an increased number of people wanting to come along and do surveys. And hopefully, if they really love doing that and they love birds, it might also result in increased membership to BirdLife Australia. And we're hoping that the signage will become, we'll see how the signs work, but hopefully become a template for future designs for other KBAs in New South Wales and Australia-wide. So the proposed project objectives, we're hoping that it will improve monitoring of the species by increased number of surveys being done. We might get a better idea about what's happening in the in each of the sites. Perhaps and in doing that, we'll get more people who register with BirdLife Australia. And we're also hoping that what we find and the experience that we have from this will help to inform policy and management around key biodiversity areas. So this here is it's a lovely photograph taken in Agnes Banks of a yellow thornbill. I'm not sure who the photographer is for it, but you might be wondering how you can help in Richmond Woodlands key biodiversity area. So you could perhaps visit with your local bird club or go with your birding friends, and perhaps if you're attached to other organisations such as photography clubs, which might go into film wildlife and bird life, this might be a way of helping to promote all the different sites in the KBA. So we're hoping to evaluate the project through the success of the signage. So hoping that people can get on, use the QR codes, and we might see an increase in bird species, the numbers of birds seen, and the numbers of people coming through the different sites. And also people are free to leave comments about the signs if they feel that there needs to be other pointers attached to a sign. So if anybody has any questions, please feel free to ask.
Thank you, Ricki. Look, my apologies. I should have made it very clear at the very beginning that yourself, Ricki, and Roger were appointed as KBA co-guardians only a few months ago on the retirement, effectively, of Bales. So I wanted to emphasise that. Thank you for a great presentation. We're ready for questions.
Can I kick off, please, and say, first of all, Ricki and Roger, thank you very much for that presentation. That was excellent, very, very comprehensive and very encouraging. And the reason I'm absolutely delighted that you and Roger are taking over from me is because you're more local. I live quite a long way from the area. You're local, and it's very important, I think, to have local people being handy enough to go into those reserves frequently. We just haven't been able to do that in the last 6 years or so. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it being a great success under your care. Also, I would like to say that I am currently doing an audit of the surveys that have been done to date over the last up to 14 or 15 years. Do an audit so that there is a base against which to judge and calibrate the success of the signs. The signs are excellent, and I'm looking forward to seeing how they actually work. So, Ricki, how do you think the signs will work?
Well, I think they're bright and colourful. I think they say what the KBA is all about, and it gives people an indication of what birds to look for. And the fact that the tracks are well marked on the sign, it gives people some indication they can either walk the sign in either direction.
And yes, look, I agree. With the signs, Richmond Woodlands' key biodiversity area has become an entity. People who visit those sites can see, they can read very quickly, very easily what it's about, and it will help protecting birds in the long term. Thanks, Ricki. Thanks, Roger.
Thanks, Bales. Roger, I'd like to ask a question, if I may, if only as an opportunity to let you to answer a question. It'd be good if you were to share with us the aspects of this project that actually take advantage of the technology that QR codes provides. Would you like to elaborate that?
Fine. They're brilliant, the idea of QR codes, in the sense of that they draw people in, they click on, just about everybody's got a phone, and the inspiration is that the family member would say, yeah, I can do that, Dad. Let's go for a walk and let's see if we can see some birds. But the technology is maybe not 100% because if they're already on, registered in bird data backyards, the backyard annual program, they already have the program on their mobile. But the next one is to get it to identify the local site. So I'm trying my best to, with the contacts that I've had, to actually give them the site name that they need to put in. And I'm actually taking a group in the next couple of weeks from U3A to actually do a trial on using the QR code for the bird data. So that promises to be very interesting. I hope that helps. I'm not quite sure. I've lost the question, but does that give a bit of background?
It does, Roger. One point that I think it's useful to highlight, since I've had a little bit of involvement in the project myself, is the fact that thanks to the assistance from BirdLife Australia in the national office in Melbourne, they've set up their website arrangements such that when a visitor who may be a person fresh to birding uses the QR code to access information about the site at which they're visiting, they'll be taken to a web page that gives them that information. But at the same time, that website will clock the fact that someone visited that website from that location. So in effect, we've got a counter operating at each sign, basically counting how many visitors are going through and opening the QR code to get information. So it's a very useful way of getting, basically counting people as they go through the turnstiles, so to speak. So we get a sense of how much the signs are actually used, which I think will be valuable when it comes to evaluating whether these signs are proving to be useful for people at all.
Well, I hope there's going to be a big spike of about 24 in the midweek in a couple of weeks' time. Because I'll get everyone in the group to actually, if they've got a mobile, to click on and actually try it. just dummy it in their hands. So any location they go to of the national reserves, national parks, they will be able to do it again with ease because they've got experience.
That's terrific. Are there other questions that anyone else would like to ask?
Can I?
Oh,
Oh,
Ruth,
so can I?
please speak up, Ruth.
Sorry, this is Elizabeth Hodson speaking. I was just wondering whether the BirdLife is making any attempt to extend this technology to other KBAs. There are quite a few KBAs in other parts, not necessarily in New South Wales, that might be benefit from the same technology.
I can answer that one. Once we've got a great success rate on this one,
Right.
then obviously we'll all be happy. I think Ruth's got some background noise coming through.
Ruth, yes, thanks.
Once we've got some success on the runs on the board, then everyone, the committee, whatever, will be able to see the data, and they'll all get excited, and it'll probably be spreading out as more and more people or groups will put up the money to do more signs in more KBAs.
Okay. Good.
Thanks, Elizabeth. Ruth. You're still mute for some reason, Ruth. I can't hear you. Can anyone else hear Ruth?
No. Ruth, perhaps put your question into the chat, Ruth.
Can you type it, please?
While Ruth's doing that, I've put Richmond.
So, Ruth, could you go on mute while you're typing, please? Thank you.
I've put the Richmond email address for anyone, so you want anyone questions, whether you're acquaintances or yourselves, to richmondwkba@gmail.com, and that will get through, and eventually that might get put into the club's publications in the next issue or whatever the next production line is.
We're waiting on Ruth's question to come through.
Yes, and I'll just while we're waiting, Elizabeth, just in response to your question too, we definitely have in our minds that the potential extension of the success of this project to other KBAs is something we aspire to. And I think our first intent is to give this a go, let it run as a trial and learn from it. And if we can improve it and or be successful in it, then we certainly will explore how we can extend it.
It would certainly be useful in KBAs which are relatively close to large population centres. So the Blue Mountains KBA comes to mind, for example.
Interesting point.
Barry, do you want to read? Have you got those chat questions?
Yeah, we now have a question from Ruth. Will any actually, we've got a question from Nicole. Has that just come through? Have you had issues with people taking dogs on the walk, particularly off leash? If so, how have you addressed this at all?
I'll take that one. Yes, occasionally there are dogs walking around in the national, in the reserves, and it's a no-no. But and one guy, a neighbour, waxed eloquently one day of how he avoided the national park ranger going off the site, not going to his home, but going around back streets and whatever, and try to get rid of him. Yes, there are a few attitudes out there with dogs, and there's a problem. Windsor Downs comes to mind in particular, but I have seen them on other sites as well.
It's a common problem, I know. And the question from Ruth was, will any written information on the KBA be at the Landcare Bushcare Forum at Olympic Park next week? Judy, perhaps if you're still available, can you comment on this?
Well, I'm actually going to it, and we can have information on that at the Discovery Centre, which will be one of the visit sites. But if someone would like to pass on information or something we can print off, I can certainly have that available.
I think we'll follow that we'll follow through with that. Thank you, Judy. We'll follow through with that.
A picture is worth 1,000 words, and one of Ricki's pictures was of a sign that would all the locations are all the same sign. They just vary with different locations. So I suggest somebody's got a mobile phone. I've got a picture on it. That would be the.
Yeah, I did a screenshot of the that sign actually, so I can print that off myself. Yep.
Thank you.
We'll help you with that, Julie. We've run out of time for this segment now. So at this stage, thank you, Roger. Thank you, Ricki. And I'll hand over to Chairman or Chairperson David Marquardt.